The galaxy had always believed humans were small, weak, and unimportant. Among the countless stars and powerful alien empires, Earth was nothing more than a tiny blue dot. The Galactic Council ruled over hundreds of worlds, deciding who could rise, who could fall, and who should serve. Humans were expected to obey quietly, to follow the rules, and to never dream of power beyond their little planet. The Council had spies on every continent, watching, reporting, controlling. They took resources, demanded technology, and limited human space exploration. Human leaders protested in secret meetings, but their voices fell on deaf ears. The aliens called them primitive, chaotic, and dangerous. Yet they never understood the human spirit. For centuries, humans had endured, surviving plagues, wars, and disasters. They had built, learned, and grown quietly, waiting for the right moment. The Galactic Council thought patience meant weakness, but humans knew patience was power, and patience had its limits. A limit that was about to be tested. It began with a single message from the Council demanding complete control over Earth's defenses. No negotiations, no compromises, only obedience. The leaders of humanity read the message in silence, the room heavy with tension. For the first time, they realized the Council had crossed the line. Not just their line, but the line of every human being. In hidden laboratories and secret bunkers, human scientists and engineers began to work in feverish silence. They designed ships faster than anything the galaxy had seen, weapons sharper and more precise than any alien army could imagine, missiles capable of striking across light, shields that could survive the strongest attacks, and cloaking technology that rendered ships invisible. Humanity was preparing not for war, but for survival, and survival demanded courage. Rumors of human activity spread quietly through the galaxy, whispered from one alien outpost to another. The Council laughed, believing it was impossible for humans to reach such levels of technology. But the laughter hid fear, a fear they refused to admit. The humans were ready, though the aliens could not see it yet. In cities across Earth, ordinary people trained as soldiers, engineers, and pilots, they learned to operate the new ships, to understand alien technology, and to fight with precision. The spirit of humanity was awakening, a fire that could not be extinguished. For the first time in history, humans were no longer waiting to be controlled. When the day of reckoning arrived, the sky above Earth was quiet, almost peaceful, but beneath that calm, fleets of ships stood ready, hidden from alien eyes. Human commanders checked their systems one last time, every pilot ready, every weapon primed. The Council believed they ruled the stars, but humans were about to prove that belief wrong. At the Council's outer border, alien fleets patrolled, unaware of the storm approaching. A single human ship appeared on their sensors and vanished, then another, and another, until the darkness of space was filled with shapes the Council could not identify. Panic rippled through alien ranks, confusion spread like wildfire. The humans had arrived, silent, invisible, and unstoppable, on Earth. The leaders watched the first strikes unfold, their faces calm but their hearts beating fast. They had waited centuries for this moment, and now it had come. The fire of humanity had been lit, and nothing in the galaxy could stop it. The Council had crossed the line, and humanity had finally snapped. The humans waited quietly, hidden among the stars. Their fleets were invisible, moving faster than the eye could follow. The Galactic Council believed they had full control of the outer border. They did not see the silent shadows approaching. At the first light of the galactic dawn, human ships appeared suddenly. They struck without warning, targeting weapon depots, communication hubs, and supply lines. Explosions lit up the darkness, and the aliens could only watch in shock. No one had expected humans to have such power, precision, and courage. Alien fleets scrambled to respond, but the humans were already steps ahead. Every attack was planned, every movement calculated with deadly accuracy. The Council's forces were scattered, confused, and panicked. For the first time in history, humans were the hunters, not the hunted. On Earth, commanders monitored the chaos with steady eyes. They had prepared for every possibility, studied every weakness in the Council's defenses. Pilots followed orders perfectly, striking hard, retreating, and striking again. Alien ships fell like stars burning out in the void. One after another, the Council tried to negotiate, sending messages of surrender and threats. But humanity did not hesitate. They had waited too long for this moment. Each strike sent a message louder than words. Humans would no longer be controlled. Fear spread among the alien ranks, a fear they had never known before. In hidden bunkers across Earth, engineers monitored weapon systems and shields. They adjusted, repaired, and adapted in real time. Every human on board was focused, ready to act. The fire of humanity burned brighter with each passing moment. Alien generals tried to rally their forces, but coordination was impossible. Chaos ruled their fleets as human ships moved in perfect formation. The Council's confidence shattered, replaced by panic and disbelief. They realized too late that humans were not just clever, they were unstoppable. Meanwhile, small alien colonies that had been oppressed by the Council began to watch quietly. Some whispered hope, others feared the humans. But the message was clear across the galaxy. Humanity had arrived. The weak, primitive humans the Council had laughed at were now a force to be feared. The first strike ended, but it was only the beginning. Humanity had shown the galaxy that they would fight with every ounce of strength. The Council had pushed too far, underestimated too deeply, and now, the galaxy was about to pay the price for their arrogance. The Galactic Council was furious, their pride and power shattered by humanity. They called for all member races to unite, to crush the human threat once and for all. Massive warships moved through space, their weapons glowing, ready to destroy Earth. Council leaders believed that the humans were clever but weak, and that sheer force would end the rebellion. But humans had not acted blindly. They had studied the Council for decades. They knew the strengths, weaknesses, and patterns of every fleet. Ambushes were ready, traps set across star systems. When the first Council fleet entered human territory, it was too late. Explosions erupted as hidden human ships attacked from all sides. Missiles and energy beams struck without warning, tearing through the alien lines. One by one, the mighty warships fell. Their crews, stunned by human precision. The Council had assumed humans would fight defensively, but humans were aggressive, smart, and fearless. On Earth, commanders coordinated attacks from underground bunkers. Every move was calculated, every strike perfect. Humans adapted to alien tactics instantly, predicting their next moves before they happened. The Council generals watched their strongest fleets crumble before their eyes. Disbelief replacing anger, a daring human strike team infiltrated the Council's capital. Using cloaked ships and advanced hacking technology, they disabled communication hubs and weapons systems. The capital world, once considered untouchable, fell into chaos. Council leaders struggled to respond, but their control had already slipped away. Alien soldiers began to lose faith in their leaders. They had been trained to fear humans, but now they feared them for a different reason. Humans were relentless, fearless, and brilliant. No one had predicted that a species they called primitive could bring down an empire. Meanwhile, humans extended unexpected mercy to civilians, evacuating those caught in the crossfire. They wanted to fight the Council, not destroy innocent lives. This showed the galaxy that humans were not just warriors, they were leaders, strong, courageous, and capable of shaping a new order among the stars. The Council's strikes had failed, and their empire began to fracture. Planets once loyal to the Council started whispering of rebellion. The galaxy was changing, and humans were at the center of that storm. For the first time in history, humanity was feared not just for its power, but for its will. The Council had thought humans could be controlled, contained, or ignored. Now they realized the terrible mistake they had made. Humans had grown stronger, smarter, and more united than any alien race had imagined. The war had only begun, and the galaxy would never be the same again. With the Council's power shattered, the galaxy erupted into chaos. Alien worlds panicked, factions turned on each other, and long-held alliances crumbled. Trade routes collapsed, communication networks failed, and entire star systems became lawless. The Council had ruled with control and fear, but without them, the galaxy had no order. Humans did not stop their advance, but they did not destroy indiscriminately. They targeted only military forces, leaving civilian populations unharmed. Planets that had suffered under the Council's rule began to whisper hope. For the first time, they saw humans not just as fighters, but as protectors. Human commanders moved carefully, balancing aggression with strategy. They offered aid to willing planets, sharing technology, knowledge, and protection. Every move was calculated to build alliances, not enemies. Humanity's reputation grew with each victory, respect replacing fear. Chaos spread among alien races. each trying to claim power for themselves, but humans adapted, learning quickly, striking only when necessary, and retreating when needed. They formed alliances with hidden races that the Council had ignored for centuries. These small, powerful allies added strength to humanity's growing influence. On Earth, scientists and engineers continued to invent new ships, weapons, and shields appeared faster than anyone could track. Human pilots became legends among the stars. Fearless and brilliant, the fire of humanity spread like wildfire, inspiring hope and fear across alien worlds. The galaxy had never seen a species like humans. Strong, clever, relentless, yet merciful. The old Council's rules no longer applied. The galaxy's order had changed forever, and humans were at the center. Every victory strengthened humanity's position. Every alliance and act of mercy built trust and respect. The Council's arrogance had created an unstoppable force, and the galaxy began to realize that humans were no longer the underdogs. By the time the remnants of the Council regrouped, it was too late. Planets had declared independence. Fleets had changed sides, and humans controlled the flow of the war. The chaos of the galaxy was no longer a threat to humanity. It was their opportunity, an opportunity to shape a new order, one built on courage, intelligence, and determination. As humans moved from system to system, they left a clear message. The era of the Council was over, and a new era had begun. The galaxy had learned a hard lesson. Never underestimate humanity, for the humans were no longer waiting, no longer fearing, no longer silent. After months of battles, humans emerged victorious. The Galactic Council was defeated, their fleets shattered, and their authority gone. The galaxy had changed forever, and humans stood among the stars as equals. On once oppressed worlds, aliens watched with awe and fear. They had mocked humanity for centuries, but now they saw humans as leaders. Humans had proven that strength was not only in weapons, but in courage, intelligence, and determination. Earth became a center of hope and guidance. Humans rebuilt trade routes, offered technology, and shared knowledge with willing planets. Every act showed that humanity's power was tempered with mercy. They fought for freedom, not domination, and every planet that joined them respected that. The galaxy learned that underestimating humans came at a great price. Aliens whispered stories of the small blue planet that had risen to command the stars. Even former Council worlds approached humanity, seeking protection, alliances, and guidance. The humans had created not just a force of war, but a force of respect, trust, and unity. On Earth, leaders and citizens celebrated quietly, knowing the fight had cost much. Families remembered those who had given their lives, and the bravery of every soldier. But they also knew that the courage of humanity had changed the galaxy forever. The spark of defiance had grown into a fire that no one could ever put out. Across the stars, humans built a new order, one where no race was oppressed, one where knowledge and courage defined power. The era of fear imposed by the Galactic Council had ended, and the galaxy finally understood that humans could never be ignored again. As ships moved through the cosmos, carrying hope and strength, humans looked to the future with confidence and resolve. The galaxy had paid the price for underestimating humanity, and humans had claimed their place among the stars, unstoppable, fearless, and free. The price of Visitor Wyvern after the Council's fall. Peace did not come easily. The galaxy was wide, wild, and broken. Many planets were still afraid, confused, and unsure of the new order. Humans had won the war, but now they faced something even harder, rebuilding a galaxy that had lived in fear for centuries. Human fleets patrolled the stars, not to conquer, but to protect. They stopped pirates who tried to rise from the chaos. They helped planets rebuild destroyed cities, reconnect power grids, and restore communication networks. To many aliens, humans looked more like guardians than rulers. But victory had a cost that humans carried quietly. Ships returned home damaged, soldiers carried scars, and families mourned their lost loved ones. The war had united humanity, but it had also changed them. No one on Earth looked at the stars with the same innocence again. In the ruins of the Council's capital, human teams uncovered ancient archives. They found hidden files, forbidden knowledge, and secrets that shocked even their strongest commanders. The Council had been hiding a threat far greater than humanity, a force that had once nearly destroyed the galaxy ages ago, a force that was beginning to awaken again. Human scientists studied the records day and night. They found evidence of a massive alien race known as the Voidborn. a species so old, so powerful, that even the Council feared them. The Council had used strict control to prepare for the Voidborn's return, but had never told the galaxy the truth. Human leaders understood the danger immediately. They called for a new alliance, not based on fear, but on unity. Planets that once hated each other now sat at the same table, because the threat of the Voidborn was bigger than any war in the galaxy's history. Human diplomats traveled to distant worlds. They convinced old enemies to put aside hatred. They shared technology, weapons, and knowledge openly, and slowly, the galaxy began to trust humans even more. Across space, strange signals began to appear, faint, unnatural, echoing through the darkness like whispers from the void. Human scientists knew what those signals meant. The ancient enemy of the galaxy was waking up, and humanity would be the first to face them. Even then, humans did not fear. They built stronger fleets, trained harder, invented faster, and prepared every world they could reach. The galaxy watched in silence as humanity stepped forward, once again ready to defend not just themselves, but everyone. They had defeated the Council, but now, their real test was coming. In every command room, on every human ship, one message echoed: "We are ready." Humans had paid a heavy price for victory, but they had gained something greater, a united galaxy that looked to humanity with hope instead of fear. And as the stars trembled with the coming darkness, humans stood firm, unbroken, and unafraid.